And good evening and welcome to Wasilla High School. It's time for our Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio, Q997 and Q997.com. It's the Colony Knights and the Wasilla Warriors. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCourt. Our first visit to Wasilla High this year, and we get an all-Valley rivalry.
And a great night, too. The sun has come up, the fog is lifted, and it's going to be a beautiful night for football here at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
And it's a big game. It's a conference game. And Wasilla, fresh off its first conference victory of the season up north at West Valley. And this is the conference opener for Colony, which played all of its non-conference games in the first half of the season. That means all rail bell action during the second half. Certainly a lot to play for. And on the Wasilla side, it's a big one for first-year head coach Will Stout.
And a lot of good balance as far as offenses go for both Wasilla and Colony, both averaging right around 1,000 yards. Not averaging, a total of 1,000 yards rushing for the season. So this could be a very good matchup. Expect a lot of ground game. But I think as far as if we look at the passing game, Colony's going to have a little bit of an edge as they've been able to get some guys out of the backfield. We've seen John Pomeranke catch some passes, and that's just something that Colony's able to do, is that little dual threat on the quarterback action.
We're going to talk a lot about the offenses because these two teams, they have similar looks, but they're very, very different. We'll talk more about that throughout the broadcast, but this is the Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week. Rent-A-Geek serving the Valley's business and personal IT needs since 2002. They're located on the corner of Arctic and Alaska Streets in Palmer, and you can check them out at geeksalaska.com. Football also brought to you by Legacy Funeral Homes, Taylor Fire Protection Services, and the Frontiersmen. Well, first we're going to have got the captains out there, and then we're going to have a little anthem, and then the starting lineups for you as well. So certainly a lot to check out here at Wasilla High School. Bunch of games going on. We'll get to those in a second. Some Valley games for you. Palmer is at SoHi. We're going to have updates from that game. Houston hosting probably its biggest game in recent memory. Eielson is in town. That game is going on at 7 as well. We'll try to get updates from that one as well. And then Reddington, the first-year program, has Nikiski at home, and we'll see if we can track down score and results from that one as well. Let's go ahead and take our first break of the broadcast. We'll be back with more football on Valley Radio, Q997 and Q997.com. Back in 2 minutes. And welcome back to Wasilla High School. It's the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio, Q997 and Q997.com. Just had the presentation of the colors and the national anthem here at Wasilla High School. As usual, the Valley Schools do a great job of honoring our nation before each game. Football is also brought to you by Legacy Funeral Homes, Taylor Fire Protection Services, and the Frontiersmen. As Jason said earlier in the broadcast, a gorgeous night, and look at the crowd.
It is a good crowd. A packed field over at packed stands over at the Colony side. You got their marching band. Jamin Burton doing a great job of that marching band. Just the whole Colony music program from the top to bottom. And then looking out here on the Wasilla side, even though it's coming off an 0-8 season, 2-2 to start the first 4 weeks, a good solid crowd out here for homecoming.
There's been excellent support of this Wasilla football program despite its struggles. I was out here for the preseason scrimmage when they faced Bartlett. They had the big tailgate party. And typically when you go to scrimmages, you might see a couple of curious people, but this place was absolutely packed. Tons of people. And it just shows the excitement and the enthusiasm that they have for Warrior football.
Absolutely. Just running down, again, some quick games coming on this week. As you said, Nikiski at Reddington, Eielson at Houston, here at Wasilla Colony being hosted. And we know that Palmer is down at Soldotna, and at last report, with 3 minutes to go in the first half, SoHi has a short 14-7 lead.
So that's intriguing down there. The Moose, of course, got their first win last week, and SoHi riding that 43-game winning streak. Looking at the series between these two teams, Colony leads the all-time series now 14-11. In the last 10 years, the Knights have had the 6-4 advantage. Colony and Wasilla, again, we alluded to the offense. Similar look. Both teams run a base set where you've got the wing or the slot, depending on the terminology, right behind the tackle, kind of offset. And then you got the fullback close enough to the quarterback, of course, under center, that basically you have to be close enough to be able to touch the quarterback. And so it's kind of interesting. It's compact, but it leads to a lot of misdirection. Colony kind of is a little bit different because they'll use the option a lot, whereas Wasilla will just mainly go with the misdirection and the counters.
And one of the advantages of having that fullback so close is that those quick hit dive plays, as you remember from when you were playing, those are tough for linebackers to be able to read, and those are the plays where you're hoping that you can get that quick 2, 3, maybe even a 4th yard out of that.
And then you look at a kid like Cade Habel, who has kind of a low center of gravity, and he's really fast when he breaks open into that second level. He can make a lot of noise. And look at the season Habel's had so far. In only 4 games, 425 yards and 10 touchdowns. The breakout player for Wasilla last week was Nick Alexander, coming through with 15 carries for 188 yards and 2 scores. Prior to that, he had just 1 carry for 1 yard the week before. So it's going to be interesting to see what Wasilla does on the offensive side of the football, because Aaron Milleron is the known commodity, but early in the season, the fullback McDermott kind of emerged, and then now with Alexander, and then we haven't even talked about Bocork or Jaden Wackenmeyer, so both teams going to have a variety of weapons in this game.
Yeah, Milleron coming in with 402 yards on just 56 attempts and 6 touchdowns. And as you said, Aaron Milleron also in the receiving end, 89 receiving yards on just 5 catches. So a good offensive threat, only a junior. So that's a great way to lead into towards the senior year.
The passing numbers have been interesting throughout the Valley. I think all Valley quarterbacks might have combined for 10 attempts last week. It was just every game, just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Look down the leaders. The kid with the most pass attempts across the Valley is Robert Ritter from Houston with 28 attempts. Parker Kaiser, 7 of 18. Hunter Hongslow, 9 of 21. I think, like you said, Jason, earlier in the pregame show, we probably have the potential to see Colony throw the ball more, but it's going to be run heavy on both ends. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCourt, getting ready to kick off. Again, this is our Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. Football also brought to you by Legacy Funeral Home, Taylor Fire Protection Services, and the Frontiersmen. Colony will kick off from left to right on your radio dial. Wasilla, wearing the home reds, will receive. Noah Krizel is the kicker. Touchback after touchback after touchback. This is our 3rd straight week seeing Colony. That's just kind of how the broadcast schedule worked out. And this is going to be the first of our 3 Wasilla games in the next 4 weeks. The kickoff fielded at about the 15 by the Warriors, cut up through the middle. A nice hole for the return man, and down at the 30-yard line. It looks like that was Milleron. Aaron Milleron, a 2-sport standout for the Warriors, also a big part of the Wasilla basketball program. And the Warriors will start out just beyond the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Wasilla in that base double wing set. Milleron in motion. They give it to the motion man. Tries to stretch it out the far side, cuts back up the middle for a couple extra, and he'll get about a 5-yard gain. We've got our first flag of the day. Dropped at about the 42-yard line. Milleron taken down at the 36. We'll see what the call is. Colony looks to be backing up, and it is on the Knights.
And I didn't see what the penalty was, but usually from where that flag was thrown by the back judge, that's indicative of defensive holding.
So now a quick first down for the Warriors at the 41-yard line. Hunter Hongslow under center for the Warriors. Far side man in motion. Inside handoff to McDermott, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. That interior of the defensive front, and also Dawson Nash in on the tackle. That'll be a loss at 2. It's going to be 2nd and call it a long 11 from just behind the 40. Nash in street clothes last week back in action this week. Nash, one of the top returners for Colony this year. 2nd and 11 for the Warriors just inside the first quarter here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Far man in motion. They hand it off to the motion man, cuts back inside, tripped up just beyond the line of scrimmage. And it's McDermott with the carry. And give them 2. It's going to be 3rd and 9. Hessinger on the tackle for Colony.
And this is a great backfield for the Warriors. You have McDermott, Milleron, and Alexander all in the backfield. All good running abilities. We've seen Milleron and McDermott already today, looking for Alexander.
3rd and 9 for the Warriors. Honslow waits for the snap. Milleron in motion. They give it to the motion man, and he's going to be wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, potentially for another loss. Cade Havel in on the tackle. Sant there as well. So appears to be no yardage on the play, but we do have another flag. And that's a face mask, the 5-yard variety. Sets up a more manageable 3rd and 4 for the Warriors. So 2 5-yard penalties for the Colony defense, extending the Warrior drive early on in this ball game.
And the Warriors got to get just across the 50-yard line, almost to the Colony Knights 49-yard line for this first down. So we'll see what they can do on 3rd and a short 4.
Honslow has his team back up to the line of scrimmage. The Knights with that 4-man front, showing blitz with Nash. And the inside handoff on the counterplay to Milleron, and Milleron's got some room, gets across the 45, down near the 40.
And there's that misdirection, Jeremiah, that we alluded to that Wasilla was going to need to use with this quick-hitting offense. Milleron coming from his wing position on that inside counter, picking up a good solid yardage all the way down to the Colony Knights 42-yard line.
So fresh set of downs for the Warriors into Colony territory as Bo Court checks into the game. And McDermott takes a breather. 1st and 10 at the 42. Teams at the line of scrimmage. And the handoff again for the Warriors. Not a lot of running room as we see Alexander for the first time today. It'll be no gain, 2nd and 10. Colony really loading up the box. Bringing Nash and Havel both in tight. The addition to the defensive line last week, which made a big impact, was Vervelo. He looks like more of a defensive back. But Rhett Magner told me after the game, they said, Zane, quarterback, go. That was the instruction. 2nd and 10. Milleron in motion again. They give it to Milleron. He tries to bounce out to the outside, has some running room across the 35 before he's brought down, and the ball's on the turf. And it appears to be, we're waiting for the indication, but it appears to be Colony football. So the Knights force the turnover and stop the Wasilla drive. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights at the 35-yard line. 8:47 to go in the first quarter here at Wasilla High. So now Colony with its double slot look. Hessinger in motion. They give it to Havel. Havel bursts through the middle, has a first down and more. Quick first down for the Knights down at the 48-yard line. The Knights favor the up-tempo. They call their plays at the line of scrimmage. Double slot set. And the option play, Kaiser will keep it himself. He tucks inside, and he's brought down at midfield. Chase Minnick on the tackle for Wasilla. So 2nd and 8 at midfield for the Knights. First quarter action. They give it to the motion man, Nash. Flag is down. Nash around the edge, down the sideline at the 25. And he's thrown out of bounds at the 20-yard line. But we've got a flag back in the backfield.
And this one's coming back. This is going to be a holding penalty on the Colony Knights. And that's going to negate that big run by Dawson Nash.
So they'll back up. I think the Wasilla coaching staff was also maybe looking for a flag, the tackle close to the sideline there. So Colony backed up back into their own territory. It's now second down at the 37-yard line. And some movement up front, and we'll get another flag. The Warriors need to get back to, or the Knights need to get back to the Warrior 43 for a first down. False start against Wasilla. That's 5 extra yards for the Knights. So second and about 16 for Colony. Hessinger in motion. They fake it to the motion man. Give it to Havel. He's brought down. Havel brought down at the 42-yard line. Give him maybe one. And it's going to be 3rd and 16 now. Kaiser with the handoff. They give it right back to Nash. Nash has 2 blockers. He's down the sideline. Makes a man miss. Spins away. The 30, the 25, the 20, the 15. Into the end zone for a touchdown. They go right back to the same play that had all that yardage come back. And the Knights come through with a touchdown.
And that's just a sweep to the right. Nash was able to get to the sideline. Like you said, get that one block and a spin move to the 30-yard line. Freed him up. And Colony takes an early 6-0 lead.
Noah Crozell out to kick. As Kaiser, the holder, waits for the snap. Snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is up. And the kick is good, and the Colony leads 7-0. Let's take a 30-second break. We'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q99.7. And welcome back to Wasilla High School. It's the Q99.7 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q99.7 and Q99.7.com. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCourt. We see our first score of the day, 3 lead blockers running ahead of Nash.
And now with this kickoff, Wasilla has to be aware of that onside kick that Colony is notorious for. They've set it up a couple of times, once against Diamond, once against Palmer, and we'll see how they react.
And in that bunch formation, they do spread out. The Knights like to keep teams guessing on special teams. And Crozell set to kick. Kick will be fielded at the 10 again by Milleron. Milleron comes back to the near side and brought down just about the 25-yard line. Milleron certainly one of the bigger kick returners you'll see. They don't have the height and weight on the rosters, but certainly a solid-sized athlete there for the Warriors. Plays both wing and linebacker on defense. 1st and 10 for the Warriors, this time at the 25-yard line. They have a receiver split out wide as they go to a shotgun set. 2 receivers split out wide, shotgun set, man in motion, and through the hands of Hongslow. Hongslow is going to be brought down for a loss at the 15.
And just a high snap from the center. Hongslow not able to corral it until after it took its first bounce. Looks like backed all the way up to about the 16-yard line, so tough loss for the Warriors on that play.
So Wasilla gets away from its base formation and nearly turns the football over. 2nd and very long now. 2nd and probably about 17 from inside the 20-yard line. Wasilla working from right to left on your radio dial. Hongslow back under center in that base formation. The double wing set. Milleron in motion. They give it to Milleron. And he's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. They might give him a yard on the carry, and they do give him a yard.
And very quickly, while we have a quick second, I do have an update from Houston. 35 seconds into the game, 7-0, Hawks.
Again, this could be the biggest game in recent memory for Houston. A win over Eielson, a clear path towards the conference title. 3rd and long. 3rd and about 16. Milleron in motion again. They fake it to the motion man. And hand it to McDermott. And the ball, thought the ball might be on the turf, but a big loss again for the Wasilla Warriors. It's 4th down from the 11-yard line. So 4th and about 29. And Wasilla in the obvious punting situation, just about as obvious as it gets. As the Wasilla punter, Gavin Barnes will be back in his own end zone. Just at the goal line now as he waits for the snap. Wobbly snap, able to get the punt off. It's a high kick, will be fielded at the 43 and immediately brought down. It's Miller on the tackle. Peed was the return man. They'll still be good field position, but what a play on special teams.
That's a great play by Miller on being the hot man all the way down. Make sure that he gave the receiver enough time to catch the ball, but as soon as he made contact with the ball, made the hit right at the 45-yard line of the Warriors. Colony taking over 1st and 10.
First quarter action, 5:21 to go in the first. Colony leads by a touchdown, 7-0. The Knights, the option, and Kaiser's going to take it himself, has some running room before he's brought down by Alexander at the 25-yard line. So Colony's liking the right side, had some running room along the near sidelines. And it's going to be a quick first down for Colony. As the Knights down at the 25-yard line, the 26-yard line. And again, as we've seen for the past couple of weeks, the Colony offense faster than the chain gang. The no-huddle attack for Colony. Double slot set. Hand it to the motion man, and it's Nash. And this time Nash wrapped up near the sideline. Back at about the original line of scrimmage. They're going to give him a yard, maybe give him a yard. It's going to be 2nd and a long 9 from just about the 25. Colony splits a receiver out to each side, still with the 2 slots. Hessinger in motion. They give it to Hessinger. He bounces off one would-be tackler. Will be close to the first down. Across the 20-yard line. Spotted at the 19. It'll be 3rd and 3 at the 19-yard line. An official's timeout looks like an equipment issue with Pomrinky.
It almost looked like he wasn't wearing any knee pads.
So I know that that's something that NFL receivers do, but maybe not the wisest thing for a high school kid. So Pete is in to play out on the near side, split out wide. Kaiser back under center, man in motion. They give it right back to Hessinger. He cuts back inside, and Hessinger will be brought down by Alexander. And it'll be about a yard gain. It's going to be 4th and 2. It's one of those plays that looks like if he would not have cut back, might have had a better chance for the first down. More movement up front, and this could be a free first down for the Knights, and it is. 5-yard penalty on the Warriors. Just a little too active along that neutral zone. So 1st and 10 just outside the 10. Spotted at the 12. And Kaiser fakes the handoff, back to pass, throws it into the end zone, incomplete.
Led Caleb Bailey just a little too much. I think he was looking more for the first pylon. Caleb Bailey was trying to run more of a flag route to the back pylon, just not quite on the same page, but Bailey wide open on that play. Kaiser missed an opportunity.
So 2nd and 10 now from the 12. And now we see Marcus Lorentz in at quarterback. So Lorentz with the design keeper. Lorentz still on his feet as he fights for yardage near the goal line, and it'll be a first down for Colony. So we see the reserve in for the first time today, and Lorentz stays in at quarterback, so we'll see if this is by design or not.
And the way Colony's lining up, this is exactly what Wasilla's been doing. 0 splits on the offensive line, running back right behind the quarterback. It looks like we're going to have a timeout for Wasilla.
Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q99.7. 30. Thanks.
It is killing me with the no-huddle offense.
Yeah. I was giving
Should be a mandatory 15-second break just so I can breathe.
I was giving Rhett shit about it because I'm like, dude, you're outrunning the freaking chain gang. And he's like, I know, that's kind of a problem, isn't it?
Okay.
I'm looking for Kaiser on the sideline. I don't see him.
Okay, ready? On the air.
And welcome back to the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCourt. We had a timeout on the field, and we're still trying to see if we can see where Parker Kaiser might be.
He's back at quarterback now.
So just a quick break.
I was looking for looking at the sideline for him, and all of a sudden I noticed that there he was, right in front of Cade Havel.
So Kaiser back under center. First and goal for the Knights. And the quick handoff inside. Plows forward. And into the end zone for the touchdown. So Colony with another rushing touchdown. 13-0 is the score. Crozell back out to kick. Kaiser waits for the hold. The kick is up. And the kick is good. We've got a 14-0 score, 3:27 to go in the first. Let's take a 30-second break. We'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q997.
30.
Cool. I never did see them signal touchdown.
Oh. He was probably 3 yards in.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but I just didn't want to.
Sure. You didn't want to.
Jim McCall.
Jim no-call?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh, look,
there you go.
Look at that. Get a little journalistic on you.
Yeah. So I wonder if you had to go to the bathroom or something stupid like that.
I don't know. I'm going to go easy money. It's the onside kick this time.
Ready? On the air.
And welcome back to the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. The Warriors and the Knights. The Knights lead by 14. Valley rivals clashing on a very nice night here in Wasilla. Lots of people. The stands are pretty much full, and you can see more fans circling around the new fencing. About a year or two old here at Wasilla High School.
2 years old. Good job separating the track from the stands, being able to host good track events with the safety of the athletes and the spectators.
And certainly plenty of spectators here. Again, in the bunch formation for the Knights on special teams. And Crozell at this point appears to be kicking away. And we're ready for the kickoff. This time fielded about the 10 by Alexander. Alexander runs forward, looking for some momentum, and then pushed backward. Tries to bounce around to the far side, and he's going to be brought down near the 15-yard line. Never much running room, but you got to applaud his effort trying to bounce around to that far side. Stop just short of the 15. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 14. So after starting at the 30 and then the next drive at the 25, Wasilla now starting at the 14-yard line. We talked about field position last week. Was a big factor in that Diamond game.
Big would be the understatement. Didn't you say, I think Colony's average field position was about their own 40-yard line?
The Diamond 40-yard line.
Diamond 40.
1st and 10 for Wasilla. And now showing a different look with the single back. And that's Miller on, not able to get much. And brought down at the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And as we talk about defensive adjustments, you said Cade Havel, Dawson Nash in their linebacker position step up into the box, essentially making a 7-man front against the Warrior offensive line. But Braden Bowker, all 5'7", I don't know how much he weighs, but playing defensive tackle.
And something similar to what they did with Vervelo last week. Just using those speedy guys to try to make some noise. McDermott with the football. Bounces away from one man and then knocked down for a loss by another. It's Havel on the tackle. Bowker there as well. And it'll be a loss for Wasilla. 3rd and 12 now. So Wasilla just not finding a lot of running room early on in this one. First quarter action on Valley Radio Q997. It's 14-0. Wasilla trails with football. The Warriors back up to the line of scrimmage facing 3rd and 12. Wasilla returns to the double wing look, man in motion. They fake it to the motion man. Hongzo keeps it himself, and he's brought down by Dawson Nash for another loss. It'll be 4th down now at the 9-yard line. So this is going to be the second straight series in which Barnes is forced to punt from his own end zone.
And Colony's doing a good job of forcing Wasilla to run a lot of east and west rather than trying to get upfield and taking advantage of that last 2 plays for a loss against Wasilla.
This is the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com as Wasilla was 1 man short. Now, with 11 on special teams, we'll wait for the punt. 4th down and a good 15 from the 9-yard line. Good snap. The kick is up, and it's a high punt fielded at the 45. And Pede breaks a pair of tackles before he's knocked down near the line of scrimmage inside the 40-yard line.
And Miller on again as the hot man, making first contact at about the Warrior 42-yard line, just unable to wrap up before Pede was able to pick up about 7 more yards. Looks like they'll have great field position at the Warrior 37-yard line.
Colony and Wasilla, they've met 25 times before, with Colony holding the 14-11 edge. Kaiser makes the call at the line of scrimmage. Double slot set. Pair of tight ends and a quick handoff to Havel. Havel hit immediately, but is able to pull a couple of tacklers across the 35-yard line for a gain. He'll gain 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 34. The receivers now split out wide. Hessinger in motion. Kaiser back to pass, looks downfield, has a man in the end zone. And it's caught for a touchdown. Caleb Bailey with the grab. And so the long touchdown pass for Kaiser. That's his 4th of the year. And the 2nd touchdown grab of the season for Caleb Bailey. He may not have more than 2 receptions, but he's got the touchdowns. Had a touchdown against the other rival, Palmer, in week 3, and now had his 2nd score of the year in week 5. Marcus Lawrence is the long snapper. Kaiser the holder. And of course, Crozell the kicker. And we've got some movement along the front line and a flag on the play. Will be illegal motion on the offense. We'll back the Knights up 5. 41 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's already 20-0 Colony. And they'll set things back up. And Crozell will kick from the 15 now. As we wait for the snap. And the kick is up. And the kick is good. Make it 21-0. Let's take another 30-second break and we'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q997. And welcome back to the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. Been a rough one for the Warriors, and Doc Larson on the sideline tending to one of Wasilla's top players, Minnick. I mean, that certainly would be a big loss on both sides of the football if he can't continue. Wasilla already trailing by 21 with 41 to go in the first quarter. We've seen Colony for 3 straight weeks, and just how the broadcast or schedule is set up, we'll see Wasilla 3 times in the next month. We've got them next week against Lathrop, and then, of course, we'll be here for the granddaddy of them all, October 30th, the Potato Bowl.
September 30th.
September 30th.
I can't wait till October.
That'd be a long time to wait. And Crozell with the line drive kick. One hop for Milleron. Milleron tries the center lane, and he'll be brought down by Caleb Bailey. And Wasilla once again will be in the neighborhood of the 20-yard line to start their offensive series.
As we talk about field position, something that Colony took advantage of last week, starting on Diamond's own 40-yard line. So far, Colony started on their own 35, Wasilla's 45, and again on Wasilla's 37-yard lines, and taken advantage all 3 times.
Here are the Warriors, 1st and 10 from the 19. Back to their base set. Alexander's the fullback. Man in motion. They give it to Alexander. And he's able to shift past one would-be tackler before he's brought down by Pede just beyond the 25. Give him a 7-yard gain. Give him 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. So an 8-yard gain for Alexander. That's his biggest gain of the day. Again, 188 yards and 2 scores against the Wolfpack up north in Fairbanks last week. 2nd and 2. Now for Wasilla. And that's going to do it for the quarter. Let's take a 60-second break, and we'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q997. And welcome back to the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week. 2nd and 2 for Wasilla. Now in the second quarter, we have man in motion and a flag in the air.
And not 1, 2, but 3 flags. Referees must really mean it. False start on the Warriors will move them back 5, as if they didn't need enough negative yardage already.
So now 2nd and along 7 for Wasilla. And they're inside the 15-yard, or the 25-yard line at about the 23. McDermott back in motion. Hongslow back to pass, looking for the sideline, and overthrows his intended receiver. Just looking to swing it over to McDermott. Bo Cork will check back into the game for the Warriors. We're just inside the second quarter. The Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week is also brought to you by Legacy Funeral Homes, Taylor Fire Protection Services, and the Frontiersmen. Be sure to read about this one and so much more. It's the new look, but the same old Frontiersmen. Pick up your copy on Sunday. Also see frontiersmen.com/sports. 3rd down for the Warriors. And an inside handoff, another flag down as Milleron is the ball carrier. Bowker, the tackler. A flag on the play. Appear to be talking to the Colony captain. We'll see what the call is. How about a holding on the Warriors? That'll back Wasilla up inside the 15 at the 14, and Jason Moore, field position issues for Wasilla. 3rd and 15 now for Wasilla at the 14-yard line. And second quarter action on Valley Radio.
And as we're waiting for the Warriors going to the line, an update from up at Houston. The Hawks now lead the Allison Ravens 14-0 on a 70-yard pick 6. They didn't get a name on the player, but we'll look for it here real quick.
So big lead for Houston up north, a little bit north. And the handoff for McDermott. McDermott looking for the sidelines. Not going to get much. Maybe give him 2 or 3 on the play. And it's going to be another 4th and long, 4th and 11. And Barnes back out to punt. Houston and Eielson. Eielson typically the team that has kind of the stranglehold on the small schools division, but this year, Houston, winners of 3 straight. Looking good. 4th and 11 for the Warriors. Good snap. The punt. The high kick be fielded, or bounce, takes a Warrior bounce at the 49, and it'll be fielded by Milleron at the 37-yard line. So extra, 14 yards on that punt. So a good Warrior bounce there. 1st and 10 for the Knights. Working in their own territory at the 37-yard line. Second quarter action on Valley Radio Q997. It's 21-0. Colony with the lead. The Knights back with the football after Wasilla's best punt of the day. We see a different look as we've got new fullback. That's Cameron Peed, and Peed gets the pitch, and he's around to the sideline across midfield, has some running room, gets the block, and he's brought down at the 35. So just a quick pitch to Peed, the lone back, as the Knights show a variation of their offense. We were impressed with Cameron Peed last week. Only 4 carries, but had about 58 yards, 32-yard score. So 1st and 10 for the Knights at the 35. Working with the double slot. Cameron Peed's the fullback, and they give it to Peed. Peed gets a block up front before he's brought down for a short gain beyond the 35. Give him about 3 yards. 2nd and 8 as the Knights just really fast to get back to that line of scrimmage. Kaiser under center. Kaiser the inside handoff. It'll be
Kaiser on the keeper.
And Kaiser on the keeper as Havel gets wrapped up, and Kaiser able to get some extra yardage. And this Knights offense continues to roll. One of the advantages of having that formation bunched like that, a lot happens in a small window.
And it looks like the long run by Kaiser that took him all the way down inside the 5-yard line, negated by a penalty, which is going to back him all the way up to about the Warrior 29-yard line.
So 2nd down and 4 now for the Knights. This up-tempo offense that Colony has, moving the ball quickly. Man in motion, and they pitch it to the motion man. That's Hessinger. Hessinger tries to bounce around outside, gets hit hard at about the 30. So that could be a loss on the play. And that will be a loss of 2. So call it 3rd and 6 from the 31. Kaiser under center, working along the near side hash marks. Nash with the carry, tests the right side of the line, and he's brought down near the 1st down. Looks like it'll be just short. 4th and 1 for the Knights. Kaiser back under center as they bring in the tight formation. And a whistle. We'll see if this is just an official's timeout or. We appear about ready to. It's an official's timeout. So 4th and 1 for the Knights. And the inside handoff for Colony, enough and more. It's Havel, able to muscle his way for about 2 more yards beyond the 1st down, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Colony.
And Havel does just a great job of keeping his feet churning after that first initial hit at the line of scrimmage, able to creep forward for another 3 or 4 yards.
Fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 at the 23 for Colony, already leading by 21. And they give it right back to Havel. Havel breaks the tackle, still on his feet, toward the end zone, shifts away into the end zone for the touchdown. And talk about proving your point. Just keeps his legs moving. Keep those knees high. 9:14 to go. It's 27-0 now. As Havel gets into the end zone. Crozell back out to kick. And the kick is up. And the kick is good. Make it 28-0 with 9:14 to go in the half. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more football on Valley Radio, Q99.7. And welcome back to Wasilla High School, Q99.7 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio, Q99.7 and Q99.7.com. The Knights with their third rushing touchdown of the day. Also have a touchdown pass, lead 28-0. And ready to kick off in the second quarter once again. The Knights kicking from right to left on your radio dial. Nice night, nice crowd here at Wasilla High. Lots of Warrior fans, lots of Knights fans. As we wait for the Crozell kick, Jason will have a couple of scores for you after this kickoff. The kick team spreads out. And Crozell's kick, a low line drive kick fielded by Milleron behind the 20. Milleron tries the near side. Still on his feet. Back to the sideline. We get a flag on the play as Milleron is knocked out of bounds. So we'll see what the call is. Early indication would probably be a hold. We'll see where Wasilla starts its drive, and it is a hold on Wasilla. So again, the Warriors backed up into their own territory.
And while we have a moment, quick updates out of Anchorage. After Diamond took a 6-0 lead to start the game, West now leading 21-6 at the end of the first quarter. Houston leading Eielson 14-0 at Houston on the back of a 35-second score and a 70-yard pick six. And Sohai now, with 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter, leads 28-7 over Palmer.
Here it's 28-0. Wasilla trailing with the football. 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Warriors. And Milleron gets the handoff and immediately brought down. Isaiah Christie on the tackle, and it's a loss of 2 for the Warriors. 2nd and 12. Now from the 18-yard line. Second and 12 now for Wasilla, working along the near sidelines, the home sidelines. Double wing set. And the handoff to McDermott, and the tackle for Hessinger. Dawson Nash also there. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 12.
And that's the inside counter play that they had success on in the first quarter. Again, just not able to get enough upfield. Colony doing a great job of that east-west stringing out plays.
Really controlling the line of scrimmage right now. And we've got a whistle. And a timeout. Let's take a 30-second break. We'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q99.7. And welcome back to the Q99.7 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q99.7 and Q99.7.com. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCourt. 3rd and 12 from the 18 for the Warriors. Honslow rolls out, back to pass along the near side, under pressure. And he's going to be brought down near the line of scrimmage. Isaiah Christie again on the tackle. Braden Bowker there as well. It'll be 4th and 12 now. I think Gavin Barnes is going to grow tired of punting from his own end zone. So 4th and 12, and we've got another timeout. So we're going to take another timeout as well. Back in 30 seconds with more football on Valley Radio Q99.7. And welcome back to Wasilla High School, the Q99.7 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q99.7 and Q99.7.com. Wasilla 4th and 12 from their own 18. Barnes will punt inside his own 10. Low snap, and the kick is blocked, and it's fielded, and we've got a penalty down too. Sant with the football, tries to get into the end zone, but I think we're going to get a roughing the kicker call.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see how they sort this one out, because the initial contact was made with the ball, and as soon as the ball's touched, I believe you can have contact with the kicker, but they are going to consider this roughing the kicker, and it's going to be a free 15 yards and first down for the Wasilla Warriors.
Cooper Sant thought that he was in for 6.
And I'm actually a little intrigued about this, and looking at Rhett Magner and Norm Bouchard, the defensive coordinator for the Knights, they would like an explanation as to what happened, and I'm as curious as they are, because I thought the ball was hit initially before there was any contact by the kicker.
And again, they continue to talk this one over. Sant, one of the captains, also talking to a referee. I'm sure he's pleading his case extra hard. So we'll see what the call is. Interesting scenario here at Wasilla High School. And they're going to, looks like they appear to be sticking with the Wasilla first down, as now one of the referees is explaining to Colony head coach Rhett Magner. So first down for the Warriors, new life for the Warrior offense across the 30-yard line. Man in motion, the inside handoff. Another one of those counter plays to Milleron. Milleron able to get across the 35 down to the 36, just shy of the 37. So 2nd and 6 for the Warriors. Second quarter action on Valley Radio Q99.7. The 28-point lead for Colony. 2nd and 6. Hongslow back under center. And Cork with the football now. Cork has some running room, breaks a tackle, cuts back inside, and he's brought down across midfield. And it'll be a first down at the 49-yard line. So Wasilla across midfield. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
And Wasilla's biggest play with that 14-yard gain by Bo Cork, doing a great job of getting up in the middle and then kicking it back towards the sideline, and able to get that positive yardage all the way into Colony territory for the first time for the Warriors.
Wasilla rushed for 414 yards against West Valley last week. And Bo Cork had 50 of them. Cork in motion again. They give it instead to the fullback, Alexander. And he's brought down quickly. Wrapped up by the interior of that defensive front. A 1-yard gain, 2nd and 8 now.
And speaking of that West Valley team, West Valley playing host to, Chugiak playing host to West Valley tonight. That game 0-0 into the second quarter.
2nd and 8 now for Wasilla. Hongslow back under center. And Milleron with the football. Tries to break it around to the near side. Gets beyond the 45-yard line before he's tackled by a pair of Knights. Sant in on the tackle. And it'll be 3rd and 5.
Wasilla actually helping Colony's advantage of making Wasilla run east and west by stringing that play out. Looks like the Warriors really need to get more that off tackle where there's a little bit of a gap between the defensive ends and the linebackers. Might get them some positive yards, but the Warriors trying to get the speed to the edge, just not able to outrun the Knights.
Just more than 5 to go in the first half. Wasilla trailing by 28 with football. 3rd down and 5 from the 44. Miller on with the football again the right side. And he has the first down and more. Brought down at the 35-yard line. And Sant again in on the tackle. First down for Wasilla. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Wasilla just trying to put together some momentum. Honslow back under center. Knights showing blitz. Miller on in motion. The counter play to McDermott. McDermott across behind the left tackle. He'll get a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 now, as Wasilla down to the 34-yard line. So 2nd and 9 for the Warriors. Our Q99.7 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week tonight here at Wasilla High. We'll be back at Wasilla High next week. They take on Lathrop. The following week, we're over at Palmer, Kenai and the Moose. And then the week after that, September 30th, is the Potato Bowl. 2nd and 9. McDermott in motion. Honslow rolls out, back to pass, under pressure, wrapped up at the 44-yard line. A loss of about 4 on the play. And 3rd and long for the Wasilla Warriors. 3:24 to go in the first half here. Wasilla with the football, trailing 28-0.
And speaking of shutouts, Nikiski pitching a shutout against the Reddington Huskies out at Reddington. That scored 26-0 at the end of the first quarter.
3rd down for Wasilla. 3rd and 14. And a whistle right after Honslow tried to pitch to Miller on. And a delay of game on the Warriors. And that's going to push the Warriors back to the 44-yard line and make it 3rd and long.
And the Palmer Moose with the score. Nick DeBach getting into the end zone for the Moose. 28-14, Soldotna leading into the 4th quarter.
So Palmer certainly not making it easy for the Stars, as the Stars want to get to win number 44. 3rd and long, the pitch to Milleron. Milleron tries the sideline, and he's going to get stopped shy of the 40. And it's going to be 4th and 17 from the 42-yard line. Probably a good call on that play. Try to get Milleron on the outside so you can get some yardage for you. So 4th and 17, we'll see. We'll go for it at this point. Late in the first half. Colony started out in this field position anyways, for the most part. Fourth down for the Warriors, and Wasilla will spread it out and go for it. Trips to the right, man in motion, Corks in motion. They fake it to the motion man, and then Honslow hit immediately. And it's going to be a gain of maybe, maybe a loss of play.
A loss
of the play.
It looks like he might have ran into the motion man coming across the formation from right to left out of the shotgun, just not able to get moving. And we had a penalty on the Warriors that the Colony Knights are going to decline, and they will take over on downs at their own 44-yard line.
2:44 to go in the first half. 28-0 is the score. Colony and Wasilla are Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio, Q997, and Q997.com. First and 10 for the Colony Knights. Colony, good field position once again. They set up the pitch, and then now the reverse, and it's going to be Nick Peed. He's going to throw the ball, has a man downfield, and overthrows Pomeranke. So the halfback pass, 2:35 to go in the half, and Colony goes deep into the playbook, showing a little razzle-dazzle.
And that play set up with both Pete and Pomeranke on the left-hand side. And had Wasilla been looking at the formation, Pete was covered up as a receiver, knew that he wasn't going to be able to be an eligible receiver.
So 2nd and 10 for the Knights. An inside handoff to Havel, and Havel plows for about 3. Gets across the 45. And it's going to be 2nd down and 6 or 3rd down and 6 now for the Knights. Colony working near midfield. Dawson Nash in motion. Fake it to the motion man. Havel gets it again, and he's across midfield. Won't be enough for the first down at the 49 in Wasilla territory. 2:01 to go in the first half. And we've got a timeout, and we'll take a 30-second break as well. Back with more football on Valley Radio, Q997. And welcome back. It's our Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio, Q997, and Q997.com. The Colony Knights and the Wasilla Warriors. It's been all Colony so far, 28-0. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCord. 4th down for the Knights. What do you do at this point? 4th and about 3?
4th and 3, call it maybe a short 4. I think you got to give the ball to who's been running the ball well for you, and that's going to be Cade Havel.
The option play set up for Kaiser. Flag is down as Kaiser is brought down. It's like the ball's on the turf. And we'll see what the flag is as the tackle is made right at midfield.
Initial call is an illegal block below the waist on the Knights. This penalty is going to be declined as they stop Kaiser short of the first down, and they'll take over on their own 49-yard line.
So the best field position of the day to start out a drive for the Wasilla Warriors. Wasilla has a minute 54. See if they can get on this scoreboard here late in the first half. 1st and 11. And Wasilla back at the line of scrimmage. Hongslow back under center, and a quick flag just about at the snap of the ball, and false start on the Warriors. And it'll be 1st and 15 now from the 44. Be sure to stay tuned for halftime. Jason will have full stats, and he'll have scores from across the state. 1st and 15 for Wasilla. And Hongslow with the inside handoff. Right up the middle. It'll be close to the original line of scrimmage. A 4-yard gain for Alexander, as now it's 2nd and 11. 1:33 to go in the first half here at Wasilla High. Hard to believe we're already at week 5 of this prep football season. 2nd and 11 now for the Warriors. Wasilla near midfield. Milleron in motion. And Hongslow is going to keep it himself, and he'll be dropped for a loss. Marcus Lawrence in on the tackle. They try to set up the motion man Miller on to be the lead blocker. Also Alexander there, but Lawrence got in between the lead blocker and, or both lead blockers, and right at Hounslow. 48 seconds to go, 3rd and 12 now. Wasilla back up to the line of scrimmage. Hounslow under center. And Hounslow again runs into his own player, but able to get the ball to Milleron. And Milleron gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be no gain, or one, give him a yard. It'll be 4th and 11. 20 seconds to go. So 4th and 11.
And if you're the Warriors with 20 seconds remaining, good opportunity to kick the ball, try to pin Conley deep in their own territory, make them go the entire length of the field before trying to give up an easy score going into halftime.
The big thing for the Warriors, get into halftime and give an opportunity to discuss the first half. And for the Colony Knights, take that momentum into halftime, and they've done an awfully good job of wrapping things up in the second half in the games that we've seen thus far. Big 4th quarter for Colony last week with 23 points in the 4th alone. 29 unanswered. 20 seconds to go in the half. 4th and 11. And the offense back out on the field for Wasilla. They're going to show a shotgun set with a receiver out wide. Twins to the far side. McDermott in motion. They give it to McDermott. McDermott breaks the tackle down to the 45-yard line. And Colony will have about 15 seconds to work with. 1st and 10 from their 44. Colony will have West Valley at home next week. So we've got both Lathrop and West Valley making the trip down to the Valley next weekend. Friday night.
Wasilla and Chugiak were both up in Fairbanks last weekend. So just that trade-off in travel.
Colony back up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line for the Knights. Nash in motion. Kaiser back to pass. Kaiser looking long down the field. Pomranke just by his fingertips. 8 seconds to go in the first half. So a couple of times today we've seen Kaiser, his throws just about a step beyond the intended receiver.
And it looked like he wasn't quite able to get everything underneath that pass, just not able to step up into the pocket.
2nd and 10, and the pitch out wide to Havel. Havel cuts back inside. He's brought down by Milleron for after a gain of a yard, and that'll do it for the first half. The Colony Knights own the 28-0 lead over the Wasilla Warriors. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout, and we'll be back with the halftime show. It's an extended halftime because it is homecoming here at Wasilla High School. This is the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. And welcome back to Wasilla High School. It's our Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. The Colony Knights, the Wasilla Warriors. I'm Jeremiah Bartz, joined as always by Jason McCourt. It's been mostly Colony thus far, 28-0. The Knights lead. Prep Football on Valley Radio is also brought to you by Legacy Funeral Homes, Taylor Fire Protection Services, and the Frontiersmen. Be sure to read about this game and so much more, frontiersmen.com/sports, or go to your favorite local retailer and pick up a copy. It's got a brand new look, but it's the same old Frontiersmen. Lots and lots of local content. The Knights and the Warriors. Rent-A-Geek, serving the Valley's businesses and personal IT needs since 2002 on the corner of Arctic and Alaska Streets in Palmer. And go check them out at geeksalaska.com. It's homecoming here at Wasilla High School. And I thought it was pretty sportsmanlike for them to have the Colony Band here as part of their homecoming festivities. So nice that the Valley rivals can play along, play together. Well, we're going to go ahead and take another break. When we come back, Jason's going to have some stats for you. Jason will have some scores for you. And then both of us will have our thoughts. Some on the Warriors and some on the Knights. Let's go ahead and take a 4-minute timeout. We'll be back with more on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. And welcome back to Wasilla High School. It's our Q997 Rent a Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. The Knights lead the Warriors 28-0 at halftime. It's homecoming here, folks. So they're doing their homecoming things. And while they do that, we're going to talk some football. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCourt. And one of McCourt's many, many, many duties here is to take statistics. And he's actually counted them and is going to tell you about them.
Well, we'll start with some scoring. It's been all Colony Knights here in this first half. Dawson Nash from 58 yards out at the 7:35 mark gave the Knights the early 7-0 lead. Cade Havel on the first of his 2 rushing touchdowns, this one from 1 yard out to close out the first quarter. Caleb Bailey also from 33 yards out on a TD reception on a nice pass by Parker Kaiser made it 21-0 before the end of the first quarter. Cade Havel with his second rushing touchdown from 22 yards out at the 9:14 mark sealed off the first half scoring for the Knights. Cade Havel 9 carries for 51 yards. Dawson Nash 3 carries for 63 yards. Of course, that 58-yard touchdown scamper to start the scoring for the Wasilla Warriors. It's been a lot of Aaron Miller on 12 carries for just 41 yards. Sean McDermott also getting involved, 8 carries for just 5 yards. I think the big stat is Hunter Hongslow just not able to get any positive yardage, 6 carries for -20, and that's attributed to Norm Bouchard's Colony High defense. That front line of Isaiah Christie and Braden Bowker just terrorizing the front offensive line for the Warriors, and the linebacker crew that we said is between Dawson Nash and Cade Havel doing a good job of stringing out all of the plays sideline to sideline.
Just not a lot of running room at all. That's kind of been the story of the day thus far. Have you any scores for us?
I do. We'll start kind of close to home. Nikiski still leading Reddington 26-0 that game in the second quarter. Houston on a couple of tricky plays, a halfback pass gave them a 21-13 halftime lead. Chugiak with a halftime lead of 6-0 over West Valley, that game at Chugiak. And that's the first meeting of those two now that they are Railbelt Conference foes. West has a 21-8 halftime lead, and down in Soldotna, the Palmer Moose on the losing end of that game, 35-21 with under 7 minutes remaining in the game.
35-21 though. I mean, Soldotna is as good as it gets in this state, so maybe that's an indication of things kind of improving for the Moose, putting together 21 points against a tough Soldotna team. Well, let's go ahead and take another timeout. When we come back, we're going to give you our thoughts about the first half of this game and what to expect in the second half. Let's take another 4-minute timeout, and we'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q997. And welcome back to Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCourt. Football also brought to you by Legacy Funeral Homes, Taylor Fire Protection Services, and the Frontiersmen. 28-0, Jason. So first, if you're the Wasilla coaching staff, what do you tell your kids?
You got to tell them to start getting north and south. They're trying to run these plays too much to the edge and get to the sideline and use speed. But Colony's just as fast, if not just a little faster on the defensive side. And Wasilla just not able to get any of that positive yardage. As I said, Hunter Hongslow -20 yards on 6 carries, and Aaron Miller on Wasilla's leading rusher just 41 yards in the half.
So what about from the defensive standpoint for the Warriors?
I think they've been doing a good job. It's those breakaway plays that have been hurting them, but they seem to be holding their own on the front line in the linebacker core. It's like I said, it's just those 1 or 2 plays they've been able to hold guys like Cade Havel, Dawson Nash, and Hessinger to 3 or 4 yards. And if you do that a couple times, you'll be okay. But you've got to come up with a couple of big plays on defensive staff.
So what if you're the Colony coaching staff? What's the message to the kids during halftime?
You can't let down. 28-0. This is one of those rivalry games where all records are aside. Wasilla can be making the adjustments that they need to. So Colony has to kind of keep their foot on the gas pedal and not look ahead to their next opponent.
And again, this is a Wasilla offense that has produced 414 yards rushing against West Valley last weekend. What's the total during the first half?
For Wasilla, they have 50, about 30 yards.
So big difference between week 4 and week 5. We've talked so much about the Colony defense here in the last 2 years, and they're just a team that that line of scrimmage, they've just absolutely smothered.
Stingy is what I would call them.
That front seven, and you've made the point a couple of times during the first half that as Wasilla tries to break outside, Millerod's done it a couple of times, but it's just they really maintain the edge on both sides.
And that's a great attributing to Norm Bouchard and his defense. And the linebackers, too, it's not just relying solely on the defensive line to be able to put the pressure on the quarterback, but also those linebackers being able to run sideline to sideline.
This is the Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997. Rent-A-Geek, serving the Valley's businesses and personal IT needs since 2002. On the corner of Arctic and Alaska Streets in Palmer. Check them out online at geeksalaska.com. A special thanks to Rent-A-Geek for not only sponsoring these football broadcasts, but our little show, the Valley Sports Huddle, which can be heard every Sunday night right here on Valley Radio Q997. Here's how it works. I'm in the studio. Jason is in the studio for an hour every Sunday night at 7, and we do our darndest to cram a week's worth of Valley sports into an hour.
And I'll be making a guest appearance this weekend.
Yes, you took a little break.
I did
from our show.
It sounds like you were able to feel my absence. Okay.
And we had head coach Will Stout of the Wasilla Warriors in studio. So folks who missed it, go to Q997.com and download the podcast for free. He had some interesting things to say. Of course, Coach Stout from Texas came up here prior to the school year and fell in love with Alaska during a recent trip in recent years. And he and his wife and young family decided to make the trek to Wasilla from South Texas, and he's having a good time so far. So check it out at Q997.com. The Warriors kick off for the third quarter, and a low line drive kick picked up by Palm Renke, and he's brought down at the 30-yard line. So this is how things will start in the third quarter. Coach Stout told me about the school that he coached for in South Texas in the 2A level in Texas. He likened it to Houston High School, about the same school size.
Okay.
1st and 10 for the Knights at the 30-yard line. Again, if you missed that interview with Coach Stout, go to Q997.com and download the podcast for free. Flip to Hessinger. Hessinger cuts that back inside, has some running room, breaks a tackle, and he's across the 35 down to about 37 to start things out for the Knights.
And just when it looked like Wasilla might have had that great defensive stop we were talking about, Hessinger on that cutback, getting all the way out to the 38-yard line.
And Kaiser back under center. Kaiser back to pass, has a man on the far side. He's caught by Palm Renke, and he'll be brought down just about midfield. Not a lot of running room after the catch. Quick tackle by Sam Wolf. First down, though, for the Knights. 1st and 10 from midfield. Just beyond midfield, spotted at the 49-yard line. Colony now in Wasilla territory. The Knights with the lead and the football, moving from right to left on your radio dial. The keeper set up for Kaiser, and Kaiser's going to be wrapped up near the line of scrimmage. They might give him one. A trio of Warriors inside. Jacob Norton among those in on the tackle. 2nd and 9 after the 1-yard gain. They'll wait for big Dawson Hendrickson to get on the field for the Warriors. Motion man. The inside handoff to Havel. And Havel again just plows forward, and he's brought down at the 40. It'll be about a yard shy of the first down. Set up a short 3rd and 1. Kaiser for the snap. and keeps it himself. He gets the first down and more, and brought down across the 35 at the 34. Shapersky with the tackle for the Warriors, and another first down for the Knights. It's 1st and 10 at the 34. Kaiser back to pass, looks to the near side, down the field for Nash, and just overthrows the target. Again, Kaiser, he's probably been, about a step ahead of his receivers today?
Yeah, and did a great job of setting up the play action fake. Dawson Nash coming out of that backfield on the left-hand sideline, and just out of his reach. Otherwise, that would have been a solid 6 for the Colony Knights.
So 2nd and 10 from the 34. Hessinger in motion again. They flip the pitch. And some running room on the near side. It's Havel. Havel, nothing but running room and the touchdown. Nice job of following his blocks, and Havel back into the end zone again. 10:02 to go in the third, and it's 34-0. Noah Crizel for the point after. 10:02 to go in the third, and Crizel's kick is up, and it is good. It's now 35-0. Let's take another timeout. We'll be back with 30 seconds with more football. And welcome back to Wasilla High School. Our Q997 Rent to Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio, Q997 and Q997.com. Colony found the end zone once again, 35-0 now, and Cade Havel, he finds the end zone a lot. 12 touchdowns now in just more than 4.5 games. And Crizel, again, that bunch formation. Let's spread it out. They like to tease, like they're going to go for the onside.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
And Crizel for the kick. Another long kick. It'll be fielded by Milleron inside his own 10. Milleron tries the near side, and he can't get past the 20 as he's brought down by Bowker. Devin Lamb also in on the play. So Wasilla will get its first crack on offense in the second half. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. The Warriors offense, huge day in Fairbanks last Friday, but rough first half here tonight. Only about 30 yards. Honslow under center, man in motion. Just try to go right up the gut with Alexander. And again, nothing there for the Warriors. It's 2nd and 10. Second and 10 from the 18. Wasilla winless last year, 2-2 this year, and I really like the approach of the first-year head coach, Will Stout. His focus is just on improving week to week and building a program, looking beyond this year. 2nd down for the Warriors. Again, not a lot of running room as Milleron tries to work the ball inside, give him a yard. The ball spotted at the 19. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
And make it 44 straight for the Stars as they defeat the Palmer Moose 42-21.
So the streak continues. They're currently tied with Kimberly High School out of Kimberly, Wisconsin, and the current longest winning streaks in the nation. Another pitch to Milleron. Milleron looking for the near side. And it'll be 4th down at the 24-yard line. So 4th and just about 4 fourth at the 25. So fourth and a long 3, short 4. And Barnes back out to kick. He did have one kick blocked today, but a roughing the punter penalty was called. He does get this off. Fielded at the 45 by Pomrenke, and Pomrenke with the speed looking for the sideline. He's on the sideline, a lot of running room, and he's pushed out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
And this one's going to come back.
As a pair of Warriors shaken up on the play. Colony has had a lot of big plays taken away by penalty.
Looks like Nick Alexander down on the near hash mark just outside the 50-yard line. And also looks like Latrellis Colbert also down on the far sideline.
So it is a penalty on Colony. Let's go ahead and take a 30-second timeout while we sort these injuries out. Back in 30 seconds with more football on Valley Radio Q997. And welcome back to Wasilla High School. It's the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. And good news for the Warriors, Nick Alexander is walking off the field mostly under his own power. And it appears that the far side, it was more of a cramping issue than an injury. You never want to see a kid injured. You never want to see two on the same play. So
2 out of 11, that's a pretty big percentage. That penalty, illegal block in the back on we tried to spring John Pomeranke down the right-hand sideline, the Colony sideline, is actually going to back the Knights all the way up to their own 45-yard line where they will take over at 1st and 10.
So they will start exactly where Pomeranke actually fielded the punt. Third quarter action on Valley Radio. The Knights lead by 35. Colony has the football. Entering this game, the Knights had 147 points in the first 4 games, only 49 allowed, which is tied with East as the top scoring defense in Large Schools Alaska during the first month of the season. 1st and 10 at the 45. Kaiser back under center. Double slot set for the Knights. And the quick handoff. And the fake. And then down across the 45. And we've got another flag. There was a first down. Kaiser with the first down, but we do have the flag. No flag. It'll be a first down for the Knights. And I think that's the 3rd time today that Havel has been just absolutely just slammed to the ground after the fake. Kaiser doing a nice job on that option play. Kaiser makes the call at the line of scrimmage. Now in Wasilla territory, 1st and 10 at the 45. Kaiser back to pass under pressure, and the ball's tipped as he throws. That'll stop the clock with 7:22 to go in the 3rd quarter, and we've got another player down and another whistle. So we'll try to see who. I think it's the same player that Colbert, who had the cramp issues here just a few moments ago. So as they tend to the injured player, any more score updates?
I just have the final. Saldana Stars extending their state best winning streak to 44 games, doubling up the Palmer Moose 42-21. That game kicked off at 6 o'clock. Other games that we had going on, Houston led Eielson 21-13 at the half. Chugiak led West Valley 6-0 at the half. Nikiski 26-0 over Reddington at the half. And West over Diamond 21-8 at the half. All those games kicked off at 7 o'clock, so entering the 3rd quarter for all of them.
So it's not Colbert. We see him on the sideline, so not sure of the number. Right at midfield. But the player tried to get up, and Doc Larson just told him just to settle back a little bit. 7:22 to go in the third here at Wasilla High School. Again, we'll be back next week. It's going to be Lathrop and Wasilla. And it was Troy Michael Brooks. But he's able to come off under his own power, walking alongside his head coach, Will Stout. It'll be 2nd and 10 when we resume. Again, 7:22 to go in the third. It's 35-0 Colony. The Knights back at the line of scrimmage, split out twins to the left. And the handoff, hit behind the line of scrimmage. Pede is the ball carrier. He was trying to follow his lead blocker, Cade Havel, and he won't get any yardage on that play. It'll be 3rd and 9. Nash in motion, movement up front, whistle, flag. Should be on the Warriors. And that'll be a free 5 yards for the Knights. Push Colony across the 40 down to about the 38. So 3rd and 4 now for the Knights. Kaiser rolls out, back to pass, looks downfield, has a man, and Pede, it looks like he hauled it in. Had to stretch out for it, but Cameron Pede with the catch. So fresh set of downs for the Knights, 6:46 to go in the third. 1st and 10 at the 15, at the 16 for the Knights. The inside handoff to Nash. Nash has some running room, looking for the corner, and appears to be in the end zone for a touchdown. 6:36 to go in the third, and Colony has scored again. 41-0 now. And the Knights go for 2 on the trick play and into the end zone for the conversion. So Colony piles it on. Let's take a 30-second break and be back with more football on Valley Radio Q99.7.
30.
Who even got that conversion?
Oh, but then shouldn't it be 43?
It should be 43.
You're getting some kind of hissy noise there. I don't know what it is.
I'm not hearing it. Can you text Paul?
I don't know. It's going hiss really loud. I'll check it when we go on.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready? On air.
And welcome back to Wasilla High School. Another touchdown for the Knights. Colony continues to lead big. This is the Q99.7 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q99.7 and Q99.7.com. Crozell will kick off again for the Knights. Colony leads big, struck through the air and on the ground. Pretty steady attack. And Crozell waits for the whistle. Colony is kicking from right to left on your radio dial. I think they're double checking the scoreboard here at Wasilla. Big crowd here tonight at Wasilla High. Lots of Warrior fans, lots of Knights fans. Both grandstands pretty much full. More fans lined along the fence that separates the field from the rest of the facility. And the scoreboard now reads 43-0, so everybody's on the same page. Again, the 2-point conversion for Colony. And we're waiting for the kickoff. And the Knights spread it out. And Crozell is set to kick. 6:36 to go in the third. And the onside kick for the Knights. And it's going to be fielded by the Warriors. And the Warriors will have the ball at midfield. Colbert recovers the onside attempt for Wasilla.
And you had to know it was coming. Colony now in the 3 games that we've seen them all with an onside kick, Palmer, Diamond, and now against Wasilla.
1st and 10 for the Warriors at midfield. This should be their best field position to start a game or start a series thus far. Showing a bit of a different look with Milleron as the deep back. And they'll pitch it to Milleron. Looks for the edge, has a blocker, gets across midfield, down to the 45 to the 44. And it's a 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3 for Wasilla at the 43. The thinking there, give Milleron the head start. So once he gets the football, he's got some momentum under him. Results in a 7-yard carry. 2nd down for the Warriors, working in Colony territory at the 43-yard line. Back to the double wing set. McDermott in motion. Inside on the counter. It'll be a short gain as he tried to cut back inside behind the left tackle and guard. And it's going to be about a yard, if that. Probably 3rd and 3 now from the 40, between the 42 and the 43-yard line. As McDermott appears shaken up as he comes off the field. Bo Cork into the game now. Caleb Drum seeing some time at fullback. 3rd and 3 for the Warriors. Hongslow back to pass, under pressure, and he's sacked again, and it's Sant. And a loss on the play, and he's brought down back at the original line of, or just right on the original line of scrimmage, right near the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 4th and a long 9 for Wasilla as McDermott's back into the game.
Hongslow trying to roll out to his right-hand side, just not enough time to pass the ball. And we called these 2 names a lot, Bowker and Christie. Just a lot of pressure up front. Brings 4th down now for the Warriors.
4th and 9. And Wasilla with his offense out on the field, at midfield. Hongslow, man in motion. And they give it to Miller on the motion man. He tries to push forward. Still on his feet, but knocked back as he took a shot from Marcus Lawrence. They're going to give him 2 on the carry. That'll turn it over on downs. Colony again with good field position. The Knights will start off at the 48-yard line. So the Knights offense back out onto the field. The Colony defensive line, I think, has been the story. As many points as Colony's put up, I think the Colony defensive line has been the story tonight. Kaiser, the option play, flips it back to Peed. Peed looks for some running room, and he's brought down across midfield near the 42-yard line. Five-yard carry on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the 42. So Peed getting some nice playing time for the 2nd straight week. Warriors split out twins to the left, man in motion to the near side, fake it to the motion man, inside handoff to Cade Havel. Brought down across the 45. Down to the 44. And again, another Warrior shaken up on the play. They're waving over the coaching staff. 3:14 to go. Any score updates?
I do. Just got this one. Late third quarter, Rainier out of Washington leading North Pole at North Pole 26-0.
That's quite the trip.
That I just was thinking the same thing. Again, at last report, Nikiski was leading Reddington 26-0. That game should be somewhere in the third quarter. As we said, Soldotna extended their 44-game winning streak with a 42-21 win over Palmer. Houston and Eielson now tied 21-all in the third quarter. Chugiak leading West Valley 13-0. That game also in the third quarter.
So some big games in the Valley this week, or tonight. Of course, we've got this one right here. Rivals clashing at Wasilla High, but that Houston Eielson game, I think you have to go back to the Norm Bouchard era at Houston High to find a game that big. Maybe the year that Waylon Soptic was a senior, they had to beat Homer to get to the playoffs. That was a pretty big one.
Both teams coming in 1-0 in conference play, 3-1 overall. Pretty equal when it comes to points for, points against. Although Houston doing a good job on the defensive side, only allowing 26 points so far this year.
That, I believe, is the best in the state at any level.
That it is. Barrow allowing just 28 points, and the next closest couple of teams we've already talked about, Colony and East, only giving up 49.
Let's go ahead and take a 30-second break. We'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q997. And welcome back to the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. And another injured player for the Warriors. And Wasilla's just having a tough time. This time it's Benjamin Boyer. And third down for Kaiser and the Knights. Kaiser's going to keep it himself. He'll have the first down and more as he's brought down at the 40. 3:03 to go in the third, 43-0. The Knights also scored 43 last week. The week prior it was 50, and then it was 40 and change in the week number 1.
42, I believe, against Bartlett.
First and 10 for the Knights, and a loss for Kaiser. And a flag on the play, a late flag. It was Quinn Hill with a nice play on defense for the Warriors. And then about 30 yards away from the play, we get a flag. So we'll see what the call is. My guess, it probably has something to do with the unsportsmanlike variety.
And the way the Colony Knights are reacting, it's going to go against them. So not only with the 4-yard loss, the first loss of the game, but a dead ball unsportsmanlike penalty against the Colony Knights will back them up 15 more yards back into their own territory.
So 2:49 to go in the third. Colony back at their own 41. They need to get to the Wasilla 30 for the first down. So 2nd and 29 now for Colony. Man in motion. And a scramble again as that Wasilla defensive front is showing a little bit here. Is another tackle for a loss. And second down, another loss, third down, and 32-ish to go. Call it 3rd and 33 for the Colony Knights. And Colony will split out a receiver wide each side. Kaiser under center. Back to pass. Rolls out and then brought down for a loss, a sack for Kaiser inside the 30-yard line. So a pair of Warriors in on the play. Looks like Quinn Hill was back at it again for Wasilla. And 4th and a mile now for the Knights.
I'm trying to do some quick math, and it looks like about 51 yards, 21 yards the Knights would need. They got to get all the way down to the Wasilla 30-yard line for a first down.
Low snap. Colony, the first punt of the game for the Knights is a good one. Aaron Milleron gets it on a one hop at the 31, but he's met immediately by Zane Vermelo and brought down after about a 2-yard gain on the return. Wasilla back with the football.
So it looked like an opportunity for Wasilla to get good field position. Colony coming up with their first punt of the game, gets a good bounce out of it, and their special teams able to corral Milleron at their own 35-yard line, and that's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Warriors at the 35.
Tail end of the third quarter, 1:13 to go in the third. On our Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call. Joined as always by Jason McCord. 1st and 10 at the 35 for Wasilla. The Warriors back up to the line of scrimmage. And we have a whistle and a timeout. So we're going to go ahead and take a timeout as well. We'll be back in 30 seconds with more football on Valley Radio Q997.
30.
Thanks.
I thought something looked odd. I was thinking about Walkenmeyer. We haven't called his name at all.
He's a blocking tight end now, pretty much.
Well, he was standing next to the guard, and I was like, I think they only have 10 on the field. And sure as shit, then they call it a timeout.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, but he's been moved inside.
Huh.
Which is
dumb.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Okay, ready?
Yep.
On the air.
And welcome back to Wasilla High School, the Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. The Warriors and the Knights. The Knights lead big late in the third quarter. Wasilla with the football. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Hongsley backs up into the shotgun set. 3 receivers, man in motion. And they give it to the motion man, McDermott. He tries to cut back inside. It'll be a short gain. 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard gain for Wasilla. Next 3 weeks, Wasilla has Lathrop, Chugiak, and Palmer. Colony's going to have West Valley, Lathrop, and Chugiak.
And speaking of Chugiak now with a 19-0 lead over West Valley with 7:51 remaining in the game. Derek Snell with another touchdown. I believe that's his 2nd of the night.
2nd and 8 now for the Warriors, working along the far side. Cork in motion. They give it to the inside. First man inside, and it's a short gain again for the Warriors. Drum with the carry. 3rd down and 7 now for Wasilla. At about the 38-yard line. And are we going to get another timeout?
Nope, end of the quarter.
Oh, it's the end of the third quarter, so let's take a 60-second break and be back with more football on Valley Radio Q997. And Hongsley under pressure as we start the fourth quarter, and Hongsley will be brought down for a sack at the 31-yard line. And it's going to be 4th and long, 4th and about 14. Hongsley, absolutely no time to throw the ball today. 4th down for the Warriors, just inside the fourth quarter here at Wasilla High. The Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. I'm Jeremiah Bartz with the call, joined as always by Jason McCourt. It's been a whole lot of Colony thus far. And Wasilla will go for it. But before that, there's a whistle. Delay of game. Push him back 5 yards. 4th and 19 now. At the 26, and Wasilla is keeping the offense out there. Hongsley in the shotgun set. The Warriors spread it out, 4 receivers. Milleron in motion and hit as he throws, and Caleb Bailey on the blitz, and there was just no chance for Hounslow as the ball was up in the air. Kind of a dangerous play there for the Warriors.
As soon as Milleron went in motion from left right of the formation, Caleb Bailey, it must have been an automatic call for the blitz, but he came off the edge, and it's a good thing that ball wasn't intercepted because there would have been a whole lot of running ground for the Colony Knights.
So Colony back with the football now. Great field position once again. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. And the handoff, and it's Pede breaking a tackle. Brought down inside the 20-yard line near the 15. Marcus Lawrence back in at quarterback. Getting some opportunity behind center for the Knights. So that run was enough for the first down. It's 1st and 10 for Colony. At about the 17. Hessinger, the motion man, gets the football, has some running room, looking for the corner, cuts back inside before he's brought down, and there's a flag on the play. .9:13 to go. We'll see what the call is. Still no indication. Fourth quarter action on Valley Radio. And it's holding on the defense. And so it's going to be Colony moving forward. So the clock still rolls, the running clock in the fourth quarter with the 43-point lead for the Knights. As Colony now has 1st and goal. Lawrence under center. Pitch it to the motion man, looking for the end zone, and an easy touchdown for the Knights. Dawson Nash into the end zone for the 3rd time today. 49-0 now. The clock does stop with touchdowns, so it's at 8:13 now. As Crozell back out for the point after. Crozell to kick. Lawrence with the snap. High snap. Crozell does get the kick, and it's good. Make it 50. Let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more football on Valley Radio Q997. And welcome back to Wasilla High School. It's our Q997 Rent-A-Geek Game of the Week on Valley Radio Q997 and Q997.com. And for the second time this season, Colony puts 50 on a Valley rival. A couple weeks ago, it was 50-7 over Palmer. Now it's 50-0 against the Warriors. Noah Crozell will kick off once again. He's got to lead the state in kickoffs right now.
It'd be an interesting stat to find.
Colony putting up tons of points.
197 now on the season, just 5 weeks in, only giving up 49.
And Crozell set to kick off again. Last time they spread it out, but still kicked the onside. Crozell will kick from left to right on your radio dial. And he kicks away. It'll be fielded inside the 10. And then bobbled by Milleron. Brought down just across the 15. Fourth quarter action. 8 minutes to go. Running clock in the fourth due to the score. Anytime there's a 35-point lead in the fourth, you get that running clock. 1st and 10 for Wasilla inside their own 20. Spot the ball at about the 18. And Milleron, the deep back again. We've seen this look a couple of times. Hounslow under center. And they give it to Milleron. He runs straight forward. He's across the 20, down to about the 22. Give him 4 on the carry. 2nd and 6 now. Knights certainly looking like the team to beat in the Rail Belt Conference. They host West Valley next week before making the trip to Fairbanks to play Lathrop in week 7 and host Chugiak in week 8. Miller on the single back. They give it to the inside counter on Bo Cork. And Cork gets across the 25 at the 26. Sets up a short 3rd and 3.
And going back to your thought about Conley being the kind of the team to beat as far as Railba goes, also making a name for themselves statewide. The only team to beat them, East High Thunderbirds, having a 3-1 record as well, and leading the CIC as the team to beat.
East plays Service tomorrow afternoon. Man in motion for the Warriors. Hounslow rolls out, back to pass, has a man, it's Milleron. Milleron's got the first down and more, and that's the first completion of the day for the Warriors. Brought down at the 39-yard line, and that's probably the biggest gain of the day for the Warriors. So first down for Wasilla at the 39-yard line. Time continues to tick off the clock. Hounslow back under center. Hand off to the first man through, and some running room at the 50, the 40, the 30. Alexander on a run is knocked out of bounds near the 20 by Pede. Five minutes to go in the game. And Wasilla with back-to-back big games.
And just as we talk about the Hounslow to Milleron connection making the largest gain of the Warriors, Alexander able to rip off 34 yards on that carry, giving a huge gain to the Warriors.
So first and 10 for Wasilla now at the 27-yard line. 4.5 to go. Milleron in motion. Tries to bounce outside, looking for the sideline. Now cuts back inside, breaks some tackles, and he's going to be close to the first down. And it is a first down. Wasilla now inside the 20. First and 10 at the 17. .346 to go in the fourth quarter here at Wasilla High School. Wasilla back to the line of scrimmage, fresh set of downs. Hounslow rolls out to pass again. He's going to keep it under pressure, and he's wrapped up near the original line of scrimmage. And it's going to be a loss on the play. A loss of about 2, 2nd and 12. The thing about the rollout passes, sometimes they can take a long time to develop.
And that gives you the opportunity of the defensive backs to catch up to the receiver. This is where I'd like the Wasilla Warriors to go back to what's worked for them in the last few plays, and that's just those inside counters and the sweeps to Milleron or Alexander.
So 2nd and 12, and they do call the inside counter. It's Cork, and he's stopped for another loss. And it's going to be 3rd down at the 21-yard line. 3rd and 14.
And that's just the Colony Knights defensive line getting a lot of pressure through the offense line of the Warriors, just not able to let that counter develop. That loss for -2 yards for Bo Cork. That's just, again, that indicated that the Knights are getting solid penetration against the Warriors.
We're approaching the 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter. 3rd and long for the Warriors, 3rd and 14. And that inside handoff to Alexander. And he'll get he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's 4th and 10. And they're going to bring the place kicker, Gavin Barnes, onto the field. See if they can break the shutout. He's hit 2 field goals already this season. This one will be
34 yards.
34 yards. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. It hits the post, but a whistle and a flag before the kick. So we'll see what the call is.
And it's an offside penalty against the Knights, which would put the Warriors to the 12-yard line. So we'll see. It looks like they're gonna keep the place kicker out there and line up for what appears to be about a 30-yard field goal.
48 seconds to go. And the second kick is short. And the Knights are going to preserve the shutout. So final seconds of this one. Colony will get at least another play on offense. Be sure to stay tuned for the post-game show. Jason's going to have all the stats for you. He'll have some final scores as well. There's a couple of good ones going on around the state. We've got an eye on that Houston-Eielson game going on up at Houston High School. Right here, it's been a tough one for the Warriors on their homecoming. It's 50-0. And we'll see if Colony takes a snap. Final seconds. And Christie with the carry, the big lineman, getting the football. And penalties on the play, and it looks like this one is done. 50-0. The Colony Knights with the victory over the Wasilla Warriors. Let's take a 3-minute break, and we'll be back with the McCourt Report, Jason's postgame show on Valley Radio Q99.7.